the nerd Nook.
What was that about?
The nerd.
Love to see where this is going.
Had that idea on Halloween night. Thought it'd be a bigger laugh, but it's fine. Roll with it.
We are nerds, but also it just made me want more candy.
I'm having teased now. Let's do this. So, over the past week, there's been quite a bit of new info on the new Batman movie, specifically with a lot of the new cast members. So, I think it was either yesterday or even earlier today. It was at least these people were confirmed to be in talks with DC to be playing these characters. Apparently, for starters, Andy Serkis is in talks to play Alfred.
Playing the good guy. Interesting.
Yeah, and
Will he
so
have both arms? Wait, too soon.
he does lose limbs a lot, doesn't he?
Um,
Because in his Claw only had one arm,
mhm.
and then obviously Snoke lost both of his arms. Like, um,
Among other things.
yeah. Although Andy Serkis, he's one of those actors that he's a great actor,
Yes.
but I'm
But
getting a little tired of seeing him in everything. He's just one of those actors. Like, I like you. You're doing a great job, but like, can we get some other British person doing like, especially for something like Alfred Pennyworth? If it's something like Gollum or some CG character where like
yeah.
a voice or like an impression or like just how he acts is really pertinent to doing that role well, I appreciate that. But when it's just you need a British guy playing Alfred, I'm
You
not
could have picked
entirely sure if Andy Serkis is the right play, but it's not bad. I mean, I think he's gonna do a
not the
good job.
worst person you could pick.
Yeah.
However, it's not ideal. Because I don't know, he's kind of like in a lot of his roles, he's kind of more wild.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have that like distinguished like I don't want to say uptight, but like very like Alfred, like very organized.
Yeah.
He doesn't really get off that vibe. And of course, he's a great actor, so he can figure it out. But like that's not going to be my first
And there
impression.
have been characters who have played villains like were wild characters before playing Alfred, like Jeremy Irons. He
Yeah,
honestly plays more villains than he does heroes. So and like
that
his
worked out well.
if you've seen Dungeons and Dragons, which if you have don't like if you haven't don't see that garbage movie. He was the villain in that. He was pretty wild in that. So and he honestly I think he did a pretty good Alfred. Um so also Andy Serkis was also in the Planet of the Apes movies, which Matt Reeves directed. So there's a connection there. Like they already
Okay,
like
those are really good movies.
yeah, and like Matt Reeves already knows how to bring out the best of this guy. So like I think it could work. I don't really see Andy Serkis as I just don't know if he'll play Alfred, especially I don't know if he'll play him in the way that we're used to,
That's what I'm thinking.
which kind of feels like the norm with this entire cast so far, which we'll get to a little bit later, but it kind of feels like they're doing a little more like experimentation with who's playing who in this movie, which is fine. Like if it is a prequel slash own standalone movie thing, you can go crazy with it. I honestly don't really care. Kind of on that same note, Jeffrey Wright is confirmed to play Jim Gordon.
Hmm. Wait, okay, where do I know that name from?
Hunger Games.
Ah, okay, there it is.
Yeah. He's
Wait,
also in
really?
Westworld, I think. Yeah, Westworld. But
Okay.
Noah, there's a problem here.
Talk to me.
Jim Gordon is being
Oh, oh, I was like, what, does he have something else, like another
Jim
movie trade?
Gordon
No, no, no.
can't be black. That can't
Ah,
happen.
it's impossible. It's not like we've had other characters in the same universe that are already got different races, but it's fine.
How can Barbara Gordon be a redhead if her dad is black? What?
It's
Huh?
the trend. All the redheads are becoming black people. It's fine.
But like, also, there are several answers to that quandary.
That's
First,
true.
maybe he married someone who's white and she's mixed. Maybe he married someone and she already had Barbara when he married her. Maybe Barbara's adopted. Like, maybe she just isn't a redhead. Like, there are so many. Like,
Maybe it just doesn't matter. Or he just threw that one in.
yeah.
Also, because of that.
Honestly, they probably won't even get that far, so who cares?
Honestly, no, I doubt it.
Just,
This whole cause it's a movie.
it doesn't matter.
Who cares?
Oh no, he won't look like he does in the comics. Like, Harvey
So
Dent was played by Billy D. Williams in an '89 Batman movie. Like, who cares about like? Which I would have loved to see Harvey Dent actually like Billy D. Williams actually be Two Face, but
yeah, that would've been
Tommy Lee
interesting.
Jones apparently they whatever. They got Tommy Lee Jones to play Two Face, playing the Riddler, being two like
Yeah, yeah, it's a whole thing.
it was an issue. But
Yeah,
apparently Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey hated each other.
I could see that.
Yeah. Like, and apparently Jeffrey Wright is actually a pretty good actor. Like, especially from what I've seen from him in Hunger Games, like I think he would do a solid job. As long as he has a mustache, it won't matter.
Right? Honestly, that's the main thing. But I mean, really, I don't know. I just don't get this whole oh, he doesn't look exactly, not every actor is gonna be, cut and paste from,
Mm,
multiple different depictions in comics anyway.
yeah,
So
like
it's
it's especially since there's nothing about Jim Gordon that like makes it so that like he has to be white. There are,
Mhm.
in my opinion, there are three DC characters that need to be white: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Those three, and Wonder Woman is arguably like Grease is like even arguably like olive skin, so it's not even like really. It's like you can't make her black. That is what makes sense. But like those three, in my opinion, I don't think it would make sense realistically for them to be any other race outside of
Right.
those three. Any other characters are
Fair
fair
game.
game. Like nothing about Jim Gordon makes it that he like, and especially since they didn't get someone who's like like who will play it super stereotypically black. I don't think it'll be an issue. Like it really doesn't matter. Like
No, not at all. But the internet likes to rant about things for
yeah.
no reason, just to start controversy.
Oh no,
Also, hey,
Catwoman's black. Yeah, she's been black twice. I've like already in movies. Like it's just
right?
how this works.
It's why are we freaking out about this now?
Like I said, Harvey Dent was already black at one point. Like it just Cesar Romero was a Hispanic Joker. Like
hmm
if the internet culture now was around in the '60s, people would have freaked out over Batman '89. Yet like those are like still beloved portrayals of these characters, and no one seems to acknowledge that they're not the race of their comics. Like I don't
And
know.
I think it's also people like I think also people have to think. I'm like, okay, but like when these comics were written, everybody was white because that's just kind
Yeah,
of how.
that's just
Yeah,
that's just the culture of the time. Like it sucks, but that's
that's
just how it was.
what I'm saying. Like Batman started in the late 30s. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, that
Yeah,
that was a different
and
time. So
and
like
like
obviously,
especially since this movie is more than likely taking place in the like 70s or 80s, it would even make less sense if they made this Batman a different race because it just
mhm.
old money wouldn't exist for anyone who's not white. That
Right.
just only for
That's just
him in this universe. That's the only one
how
who
that
you
works.
cannot switch his
Right.
but anyone else is fair game. Like it doesn't matter. Whatever. Um, it was also confirmed that Colin Farrell was in talks to play the Penguin,
Ooh.
and I think that that could be a pretty solid choice. And you don't need someone who's like already physically, I'm not gonna say gross, but physically like bigger and like has that build that
Gross.
Joker, sorry, that Penguin usually has. Like he can
Penguin.
just wear a bodysuit that makes him look like that. So
Yeah. Or CGI. I mean,
yeah,
these
or
days.
whatever. But
Honestly,
yeah, go.
like those depictions of Penguin where he's not as like, round and stuff. I
Yeah.
kind of like those are cool. Like I know like I think it was the Telltale series where Penguin's
Mm,
kind of just some dude. Like, I still think that's
yeah,
really cool. Like as long as he's got like the accent and like the vibe, like I think it's fine.
yeah. The Telltale series honestly had a very solid rendition of all these characters. Like the Riddler was
Right?
like they really played into Batman and Edward being like childhood friends, and like he didn't really become the Riddler in one timeline. Like it was actually a pretty solid portrayal.
Right?
Um, but yeah, Colin Farrell, he's a very very solid actor. Like you do a pretty good job.
Hmm.
Um, I know we talked a few weeks ago about Jonah Hill potentially
Yeah.
playing somebody, and that's not happening anymore because apparently uh, Warner Brothers was only offering him 5 million for the role, but he wanted 10,
Oof.
so they parted ways when they were only giving Robert Patterson 5. Like you're
You're not gonna get paid more than
the
Batman.
Riddler is not going to get top billing in this movie. Like, it just doesn't
No.
happen. No. So instead, a guy who I still honestly don't really know who it is, but apparently he's in like more like he's like more of a TV actor. Paul Dano is going to be the Riddler.
Oh, damn it. It looks like it. I don't know this guy either, but seems
The general consensus online is that people on Twitter at least thought he'd do a pretty good job. So
okay.
I take their word for it. If Twitter can almost unanimously agree that someone's actually right for a role,
That's probably
probably a good sign.
yeah, because
Yeah.
Twitter would be the first one to be like, "Boo!" Like,
They have
no.
all the idiots saying, "Oh, he can't play that character for X number of reasons." All the other people are like, "Yeah, he'd be perfect for the role because I knew Jim Gordon is always black. You just didn't believe me. Like those two things exist, and they're both wrong."
Mhm.
Like just let the actors, just whoever Warner Brothers deems the best to play the role. It's not that hard. And yeah, so far with Catwoman, Riddler, and Penguin being at
Fine.
least three of the villains so far, I I it might potentially have an issue with every Batman movie having multiple villains, but like
It- that's what
especially
I was starting to think.
if they do like try to do a long Halloween situation where there's like five or six main villains like all at once,
They got a
and they
lot.
actually handle it well. It is not like each of them team up with each other to do some stupid plan that actually doesn't correlate with either of their goals, but like they're just all doing their own like Two Faces robbing a bank. Riddler is just you know berating Batman with random riddles for no reason. Penguin is out there like with a little militia like in the docks or something. Like there are many different like story there are many different like situations that could happen, but they don't all have to be like coordinating with each other. There could be someone who's like kind of manipulating them all, but I think if all of them don't interact much, I think it'll work. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of doing their own individual kind of like scheme slash
Yeah.
what's the word? I don't know. But yeah, their own individual thing kind of and like maybe Catwoman kind of being like on the fence, kind of, oh heist,
Yeah.
but also, oh maybe
Essentially
I'll
what we
help
want
Batman
is a
out.
Batman Arkham Knight, but or Arkham City, whatever, in live action. Because that's kind of how the
Yeah,
games go.
that'd
Like
be
Two
all.
Face and Penguin hardly ever interact with each other in the games.
Yeah, they're kind of in their own sections, and then you
Mm.
got individually like, yeah, oh my gosh, I love that game.
I just I just feel so bad for J.K. Simmons and Joe Magna the guy who was playing Two Face, like, or sorry, the guy who was playing Deathstroke. The
Yeah,
guy who's Joe Magnoleo, something like that. Like he literally looked perfect for the role, like with the eye patch, like the white hair, like that
everything.
suit looked like I
Wow.
literally like that Justice League was just trash. But when he appeared on screen, like I literally almost started crying because it looked so pretty.
Right?
And he got two lines. And that's it. Because he's not gonna be in this movie. Not
Even
happening.
though he should be.
Like he should have been fighting Ben Affleck's Batman 2 years ago in something. It just didn't happen.
They did look so awesome though.
Yeah. And then J.K. Simmons, like, he only got 2 minutes of screen time in Justice League, and like I think he would have done a good job as Jim Gordon, but oh well.
Yeah, he would have done good, but it's okay
It is okay.
because he's James Jones. He's back where he belongs,
Yeah.
so it's okay. Ugh, he's spending his time
Still got to keep the
elsewhere.
mustache. So I mean, whatever.
Exactly. And he only has some hair now, so I
Yeah,
like it. I love it so
I love
much.
it. I love it.
Oh,
Yeah, like I'm not gonna say I'm looking forward to or that I'm excited for the Batman yet. I will say that everything so far appears to be trending towards the positive.
hmm.
Well, but in most cases for DC movies, that generally seems to be the case, aside from Jesse Eisenberg and every other villain ever on screen, apparently. Like, this is the first time the villains actually feel like they're cast correctly.
Or at least not horribly.
Yeah. Like, even Michael Shannon as Zod just never felt right. It just didn't do it for me. Um, yeah, I'll cautiously optimistic until the trailer comes out, and then the trailer's gonna look good because every DC trailer looks good, and then we'll have to wait for the actual movie to come out, and we're gonna see it because it's Batman. And then we'll,
Yeah, it is bad. It is bad, man.
yeah.
Okay, but does that still apply? Because like the last Batman movie we saw was BBS, so it's like
But it would be 5 years out from that, and I feel different director, completely different cast, different mindset
true.
at DC. I think it could maybe work.
So is
We'll
this?
see.
I don't know. I just if it's connected, then I'm like, eh.
Yeah, Wonder Woman 2 still may or may not be a reboot thingy,
Yeah, they've been talking
which is
about
coming out
that.
next year.
Right. It
So
was supposed
like,
to come out this year,
yeah,
like
it's
last
coming out
week.
on your birthday this year.
Right.
Oh well. But
It's fine.
it's fine. Um, so there's a chance that Wonder Woman 2 could happen and then make it so that Batman fits in perfectly, but I don't see that really happening, especially since it should be Flashpoint doing that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
whatever. It's fine.
Remember
Because
or we used to talk about, hey, maybe that Flash movie will come out and then they'll fix everything with Flashpoint.
yeah, they've been through
And then,
5 directors since then, and it ended up just getting straight up canned.
oh God. Yeah,
Like
that's
when
rough.
AT&T bought out WB, they're like, what is this? What have you guys been doing with your movie department? They're like, nothing. That's the problem.
We should
Scrap
do something,
it. Start over.
basically. I mean, I don't know. This whole Hey man, I'm just waiting on that Cyborg movie, okay?
Okay. This is,
Everyone asked because everyone wanted that, right? A
mhm.
standalone Cyborg movie. So
Like,
many
maybe it
people
could be
asked for that.
good, maybe, but
No,
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 no.
no. Stop.
Who are they gonna? Who's he gonna fight? Doctor or the Light? I guess.
Shh. No,
Uh,
he's probably gonna fight
Brother
him.
Blood? I don't know.
Probably just gonna fight like some internet hacker. I don't know.
Like a different, even buffer CG robot cyborg guy that's like
Yo, I could see that.
because every DC movie has to end in a mono e mono CG
Yes.
fight.
Yeah, it's the whole trope of I am you, but stronger.
Mhm. I'm
That,
still gonna beat
even
you because reasons.
right, plot arm. My plot
Yeah,
armor is still thicker than yours, but
like
like other than that,
at least Iron Man like literally outsmarted him with like you know what's his face? I can't remember the villain's. What was the villain of
oh,
the first one?
is it
Obadiah's
Obadiah? Yeah,
something. Yeah, at least like he was using older tech, so like Iron Man's suit literally like
hmm,
it wasn't like physically stronger, but it was technically better. So
yeah,
that was actually good. In Ant Man's case, Wasp just was better. Sorry, Yellow Jacket was just better in every single way, but like again, Ant Man kind of outsmarted him. For every DC movie, it's just, oh look, you're a big CG monster. I'm gonna punch you, and then you're gonna punch me. I'm gonna punch you harder this time. See if that works.
let's try to hit him really hard
Yeah.
again.
Oh, the city is just completely demolished. Oh well. What can he do?
Yeah, it's okay. You guys have insurance, right? My entire family died.
You have life insurance,
They have
right?
life insurance, right? It'll be fine. It always feels weird when they call it life insurance, but it's
Mm,
like it doesn't really insure anything. I mean,
no.
like, oh, here's some money. Okay, but like,
What is it good for if I
does it,
die?
right? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm no insurance expert, but that feels like a scam to me.
A
uh,
little bit. Unless you got people, it's a scam.
yeah,
But
yeah, like
that's another.
eh, yeah, like has literally every DC movie ended with a big CG battle? Because Man of Steel obviously did, BVS
Yeah.
obviously did, Wonder
Yeah.
Woman unfortunately did.
Kind of, yeah.
Like Ares was ended up just being a big CG monster, and like
Yeah.
it didn't need to be, but it was.
But
And like
like,
that's the worst part of the movie, but like it's still better than the rest of them because it's not two people of the same powers fitting together. Um,
yeah.
Suicide Squad, yeah, because El Diablo and his weird demon fire form against the brother who's
Yeah.
also there. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Every time I think about that brother, it just infuriates me.
Then what else?
Justice
But
Steppenwolf is just the worst.
yeah.
You really telling me Aquaman and Wonder Woman couldn't take him out on their own? Like it just
Because they had to show he was a symbol of hope.
But it was already shown in
Because
BVS that Wonder Woman
I
was
know.
like on par with Superman, taking blows from and like giving blows to Doomsday. So like, are you telling me that Steppenwolf was stronger than Doomsday, where two Superman level beings couldn't take him out? Like it's just
But hope. I don't know, man. He had to get some screen time. I don't
oh man, I'm
know.
a big fan of Hope. I'm also a big fan of Justice. Bam! Like it's a good line in a better movie, either a better movie or a cheesier movie. This is towing the line so hard that it just falls flat.
Mm.
Whatever. And then he just wrecks him with two punches. It's like you were not okay. Whatever.
I feel like we overtrained for this. Did we
Yeah.
overtrain for this?
We even and then
Batman's in
obviously
the corner, like, dying.
yeah. I got a gun because I use those now.
Yeah, for reasons. I'm like, don't you hate guns because they murdered your family?
This is a
Yeah,
space gun, so it's okay.
yeah.
It shoots
Okay.
lasers. Also, my car has guns, so I already kind of, kind of gave that up years ago.
It's okay as long as it's not the exact same gun that killed my parents, it's fine. So
Mm.
AK-47 totally on the table.
And then Aquaman obviously did, and it's a huge, the
Oh, I mean
biggest CG fight. It
that
looked kind of
whole
cool,
thing.
but it's a little bit
Part of
much,
it was
honestly.
cool. The giant CG monster he just rides in on. We're
Yeah.
just like, oh, here we go. I wonder what that was like filming. Just like, all right, now this is this part where you're riding this giant kraken. So just kind of
Stand there, look
pretend
cool, and just, yeah.
yeah, just kind of look like you're
Because
riding a giant monster.
none of that was real. Like, wouldn't be surprised
No,
if even like the entire time Jason Momoa was CG. Like,
no. I mean, literally, like, I mean, the only thing is like you have like an actor with like a stick,
mm,
and like everything else is CG.
yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Mm, yeah, like at least the Batman probably won't end in a
Mm.
huge CG fight.
Wait,
Unless
just
they
wait.
get Gorilla Grodd in there and he's somehow
Or
like
or Clayface or
there needs hmm, Clayface. Oh my gosh. Like he is primed to be
in
in
something.
something. Something like that. Like it,
Such a good villain,
yeah.
underrated. Because I forget about Clayface all the
Yeah.
time.
Like it's one that won't translate super well onto the live action, but like you can still do it. I, I don't know, and I feel like in my idea of having Hush be like the mastermind villain of it all, like trying to like pretend to be Bruce Wayne and like kind of play both sides, have kind of like also have Clayface add to the deception, like could help, could like tie into that
Hmm.
perfectly, but they don't listen to me because I'm just a
You read comic
I
books.
read
They don't like
comics.
that. How
I'm just
dare
a
you
nerd who reads
suggest a,
comics. How dare I?
how dare you suggest an idea from the original source material? What do you think this is? A comic book movie? Gosh, the audacity.
Yeah. Speaking of comic book movies,
Ooh.
Spider-Verse 2 is officially confirmed for April 8th, 2022.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna just mark my calendar real
You know
quick.
what? It's going to be 4 years between 1 and 2. Take your time. The first one was literally perfect. You can have it. I can wait.
You said say that date again.
April 8th, 2022.
2022. Oh, I thought you said 2020. I got
I
more
did it
sad.
first, then I added the 2 in
Uh,
22. My bad.
now I'm more sad. Now I'm sad.
But like the first one
Oh,
apparently took over 4 years to make because they had to individually craft every single frame of the movie and like
right. Which
had
that
to
makes.
like animate the different spider people at different frame rates, different art styles. Like it's
Mm,
a
the animation.
masterpiece. Like
Yeah. There's so much detail in that movie. It's
mm-hmm.
like literally like I watched like the everything great about
Yeah,
or like and like even that is like there's still details that like he
so
missed
good.
and like I'm like there's so many and like stuff I never would have seen if I saw the movie 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
There's still stuff I wouldn't have seen.
Oh,
I'm like,
like
that's
just the visuals, the music just is
mhm.
so good.
And have like things in the background move with the music, but you don't realize it because you
Mm-hmm.
just think that. And then
Yeah,
like,
and just the "What's Up, Danger" sequence of like him
mhm.
saying earlier in the movie like I run better than I swing, so him actually swinging, he like his swinging was mainly used just to like enhance his running ability. Like it's
Right.
it's just so perfect. Movie is literally perfect. um, and for the sequel, it's already been confirmed that uh, Japanese Spider-Man is going to be in it.
Ooh.
Which is kind of hilarious because the Japanese Spider-Man, I remember if it was a show or a movie, is considered some of the worst Spider-Man content of all time.
Oh gosh.
Because like it was made in like the late '60s and it is so cheesy, so low budget. Like it's it is just a, a joy to watch. Um,
Train wreck.
so like that they're gonna have, especially if Lord and Miller come back to direct it, please come back to write and direct it. If they come back to do it, they're gonna have so many jokes lined up just for that. And and you have like Penny and him like talking to each other in Japanese, like having tighter conversations. Like it's no, sorry, Penny's. I think Penny's Korean. My bad. Still, like it, yeah, that's just the very concept of Spider-Verse 2 happening is just very, very exciting.
Super awesome. And it's gonna be a long time, but it's totally gonna be worth it because the movie is amazing.
Yeah.
I think I watched that movie 5 times
I've
just
seen
this
it.
summer.
I've seen it at least four overall. Yeah. It's-
I saw it in theaters, at home, in theaters up here, on
yeah.
campus up here,
Mm-hmm.
on Netflix once,
Yeah.
and I think twice on
I
Netflix. So
saw
I
it.
think I've seen it.
Yeah, I saw it twice in theaters on campus. Um, and then over the summer, me and my brother and mom and dad watched it on Netflix on
Okay,
vacation.
yeah,
Yeah, and they also really liked it.
yeah.
So
I think that's a movie literally everyone would
and
like
like they
because
don't even
like,
like understand comics at all, but they like enjoyed the music and characters and art style
mhm,
and stuff. So like, yeah,
that's all you need.
yeah. Now, time to see what Disney is up to now. Um, so uh, before season 8 of Game of Thrones happened, the the showrunners of Game of Thrones, lovingly referred to as D&D, were apparently uh, tasked to making a Star Wars trilogy, and I think the rumors were that it would be set in the Old Republic.
So,
Yeah, they're out.
oh,
Clearly, Kathleen Kennedy has not been. She's had some misses, got a number of decent hits, but also some misses. Like Colin Trevorrow. You made Jurassic World, so come make a Star Wars movie. Oh, Book of Henry sucked. Bye. Oh, also Jurassic World 2 wasn't great either, so we're not sad about that.
extra
Um,
buy.
Phil and Lord come, the guys that made Lego Movie and then went on to make the best movie ever in the Spider-Verse. You guys make Solo, a movie no one cares about, but I think you guys could do it. Oh, you guys are behind schedule and you are clashing with our vision of what Star Wars is. You're out. Okay, whatever. You're lost, Kathleen. Oh, Game of Thrones is super popular. We'll get you guys to make a Star Wars movie. Oh, season 8 sucks.
Goodbye.
Bye. She's so trigger happy with like.
Yeah, it's like whoever has that, like you have to like be good, but then not do anything while you're like doing it because
She's
then any little wrong thing could get you
yeah,
thrown out.
which is so unreasonable.
Right?
I mean, after other than Solo, I personally think all the Star Wars movies that have come out, since they took over, have been pretty solid. Even like the Star Wars Rebels show has been not Rebels Resistance show is pretty good. Solo is bad. Half of Rogue One is not great. The other half is good, but the first half isn't great. Uh, so I just the idea that D&D, the guys who made Game of Thrones, were basically going to make a Game of Thrones Star Wars movie set in the Old Republic was so exciting, but not anymore.
Man, as long as somebody does Old Republic,
Someone eventually needs to do this.
because like it's so cool. It's such a cool concept,
Yeah,
and literally everyone should be on it, and no one is, and it's just like, bro, why aren't we funding
I
this?
don't know.
Ugh.
Whatever. Hopefully, hopefully someone she trigger happily picks to do the next one will actually stick around. Maybe.
Yeah,
Apparently Ryan
that would.
Johnson is still doing his trilogy, so like at least if Knives Out is actually good, which it looks gonna be pretty good, maybe he'll stick around. But um,
Maybe. Hope so.
yeah. Um, yeah, speaking of Star Wars, there was a new trailer for The Mandalorian, and it's
Ooh.
Honestly, it's still looking good.
Looking, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, there's not much new stuff that I added. Just like some new like action set pieces, just a couple new characters that we hadn't really been introduced yet in the trailers so far. But I did want to point out two things. In one scene, you could see an HMP droid gunship. It's like flying over a city. That's the transfer ships
Hmm.
that are seen in episode 3, and uh, yeah, like so it should not be around post episode 6, but you can see one fly over. And then later in the trailer, behind one lady, there was a couple of super battle droids that seemed to be
Mm.
active, which is very interesting.
Hmm. Well, I've heard there have been times where like Baldroids have been like in the future they've been like reprogrammed and like
Hmm.
stuff like that. So there's that.
Okay.
Interesting.
So like, there's a chance some bounty hunter like found a bunch of like
Or
uh
not even a bounty hunter, just like I mean, just any place. Because like the idea, like under my understanding is like as soon as like Order 66 goes down, the war is over. All the
mhm,
droids are just you
yeah,
know that switched off
because
pretty much. And you know, there's
because
billions of those things.
yeah,
Like if not more. Like so, like
billions.
you know,
Because
yeah,
they were
like
fighting all across the galaxy for over 10 years. Yeah, or
exactly. It's
millions, if
like
not billions, of those things.
probably trillions, honestly. Like the way they make them. So
Uh,
yeah, you know, they're
yeah.
all around the galaxy, and like you know, someone probably like, oh look, free battle droids. Well,
Hmm.
let me just
Like some that
yeah,
weren't destroyed, but just kind of were shut down because like the main
yeah,
ring ship thing was just taken out. So they
right,
and they just kind of
exactly.
they were just in this gunship and they just kind of found it and reactivated them and took it. Yeah, that's I love it when Star Wars does stuff like this. Like they
Hmm.
hint at like these like the prequel trilogy clearly happened. They're not going to ignore it and use the best parts of it to their advantage. And I think this works. If you can work into lore seamlessly, sure, go for it.
Yeah, I think just these casual nods to other things. Like I think
Mm,
that's really nice.
yeah, yeah. I went from not caring at all about the Mandalorian to legitimately being stupid excited for it to come out next Tuesday. Like
Right?
it's gonna be a. I think it's gonna be a pretty big deal. Like I think
It's gonna be
honestly, I wouldn't be
good.
surprised if after the Mandalorian's over, if that style of Star Wars doesn't like more or less shape how Lucasfilm goes forward with just stuff in general. But I don't know, we'll see. If it ends up being
It's
good, if like the first two were good, but then the rest is just kind of mad. Well,
it's gonna be good. I can feel it.
yeah,
Like if it's really not good, then I'd
mm,
genuinely be surprised.
yeah, like just the shot of the main guy like walking out of that bar and just turning the corner, just shooting that stormtrooper in the face like it's nothing, just bye, just kicking that one guy, just it's just great.
It's just like, bro, that was so unnecessary. But I'm so glad you did that.
Lastly, for Disney stuff, Ant-Man 3 has been officially confirmed with the same director for 2022. So,
Ooh.
cool.
Okay, yeah, another middle of the pack,
Hmm.
like not the best Marvel movie, but also you'll
Yeah.
like this.
Which I'm honestly kind of surprised they went ahead and to round out the trilogy because the first two are some of the lowest, the uh, are some of the lowest at the box office, especially in a time period like with Ant Man and the Wasp. You had Thor Ragnarok 870 or like 850 something, uh, Black Panther over a billion,
Yeah,
Infinity War 2 point something billion, Ant Man and the Wasp a little over 600. Like it's
but
just
like, but the
it's not
budgets,
bad. It's not. It had 170 million budget, so like it clearly made money.
yeah.
It's not as much as they were hoping to, especially after Infinity War. Like it just, I'm glad that they decided to round out the trilogy, even though the first two didn't do spectacularly.
Yeah, and I think it's good to do that. One, because I think keeping trilogies,
Mm.
finishing with it, I think it does it justice. But also, I think you enjoy. I don't know. It kind of just like not only does it help with continuity, because like one thing I noticed with like Infinity War, or not Infinity War as much, but like Endgame is like
Mm.
you're kind of more in like you care about Ant-Man more because like you're not
Yeah.
used to seeing him like with the big players all the time. So
Hmm.
like when he is there, you're just like, oh, this is gonna be
Yeah.
like how this is gonna go.
Yeah.
It kind of gives it more weight to it.
Yeah, and the Russo brothers have been very good about just seamlessly including him in with the big boys, kind of as if he's been there
Mhm.
the whole time. But like he in Civil War, like he had just met these guys, but he was still fighting pretty competently, like against
Mhm.
people like Black Widow and Iron Man. Like he just kind of he's been just doing this whole time. So it's just
Yeah,
I
it's like I
really
got
like that.
yeah, it's like I got this. It's
Mm.
like I don't know. It just I know like continuity is the whole thing, and like I'm not I shouldn't give it points just on that, but
Hmm.
it's a lot.
Yeah, and also it'll be cool to see what they do with his daughter. She's 5 years older. She ended up becoming some hero at some point. So like
Mhm.
the end of this trilogy could easily end with her joining becoming her own hero and eventually joining the new Avengers, which I'm pretty confident is going to be the next Avengers movie.
Probably.
And with Spider Man, Hawkeye's kid, uh, Scott Lang's kid, maybe even Captain Marvel leading it. Like you got options. Maybe
Got
like
this
Miss
team.
Marvel and She Hulk from the uh, from the TV shows. Like
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah, oh, it's exciting. And like, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. Like, I know no one's like, oh yeah, Ant-Man 3, put 1 billion on it right now. But like, like
just,
it's gonna be good. I'm gonna
yeah.
enjoy it.
And like, not every movie needs to break 1 billion. That's okay.
No.
Not every movie needs to even break 700 mil. Like, it can still be a. The Ant-Man the Wasp is like honestly maybe like a bottom six when it comes to like favorite. But you're playing with huge hitters here, so like it's not saying a
Yeah.
lot.
Right. That's the thing. It's like, oh, you didn't hit $1 million? Like,
I
some of these.
I was at least I at least found enjoyment in watching it, unlike with Thor 1 and 2, unlike with Iron Man 2. Like, there are these movies that I just not enjoy watching at all. And when Ant-Man and the Wasp, I at least found funny, I at least found entertaining. So, like,
Right.
yeah.
And it's like, okay, like I can do this.
Mm.
But yeah, yeah, and it does, and it's like a kind of like that like tension breaking humor kind of because
Mm-hmm.
like can we just like we just had Infinity War, literally everyone dies,
Yeah.
and then it's like hey Ant-Man and
Yeah.
the Wasp,
Yeah. Very low stakes, just its own movie until the end credit scene,
yeah,
which I'm fine with.
right, just kind of let it go, be
Yeah.
its own thing. I think that's awesome. Kind of just you know,
Mm-hmm.
ease the tension. It's like that one cousin you have, like when your whole family's fighting, and they're just like, "Hey guys, watch this." And they do something stupid, and everyone laughs.
Yeah.
Kind of to
Yeah.
ease the tension, or yeah, I think that's important to have, and also it's just like and it shows the personality of the characters too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like even in crazy situations, some people just that's just how they react.
Yeah. So like I'm not really excited for Ant-Man 3, but like I'm not gonna say no to it. It's a solid movie to have in the repertoire. So yeah, round out the
Hmm,
trilogy. Why not?
go for it.
So it's time to
Oh
move on
boy.
to a segment I like to call Bad Movie Backlog.
Okay.
So, as you know, my roommate and I love watching trash tier movies. Every Friday or Saturday night, we just sit down, order some pizza, and watch a bad movie. But some movies are particularly bad. Like, some movies are, so bad they're good. Some movies are just so bad they're entertaining in some way. Some movies are just so bad you can literally find no enjoyment out of them. That's what this series is dedicated to. Just
Oh
railing
man,
on these garbage movies.
like no way you can justify its
Not,
existence.
not, not at all, especially this particular movie. Today, I will be eviscerating Robin Hood 2018.
Oh, the new one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I never saw that. I never saw
Good.
that. The first trailer
Yeah.
looked interesting.
Yeah. And
I
then you
remember seeing that.
while while you're watching the movie, you can clearly tell, oh, that was the trailer shot. That was the trailer shot. That was the trailer shot. That's the entire good parts of the movie.
Oof.
Literally the 2 minute trailer. And I watched some of the trailers back. They reused half the footage in the second trailer because clearly they had nothing to show. The only even halfway decent parts, decent lines, decent sequences were already shown in the trailers. So like you basically already saw the movie, at least all that you need to see of it. Like going in,
Fair
I was
enough.
expecting it like, oh, maybe this is essentially what the Assassin's Creed movie from 2016 wanted to be. That movie's better, and that movie is bad.
Really?
Yes.
Gosh.
It, okay. So let me just start from the beginning. So Robin Hood 2018. It opens with narration from the priest dude, who I don't remember his name. I don't care either. The priest dude narrating, which doesn't it's not like a no. Actually, I'm sorry. It opened. Oh, I hate when movies do this. I just remembered. It started with a book opening, and then like you going into the pages and like the words like fading into a forest and like the narration starts as if
Mhm.
the the narrator is reading the book, but then the movie doesn't end with narration. It doesn't end with the book closing. It's just you start the motif of this movie actually started with the motif of the book and narration and didn't finish out with either of those, which is just oh, it's just infuriating.
They started and they're just like, all right, you know what? We're
You
just
know
gonna get
this
out
is
of
the
here when
story.
we
This
can.
so so the priest dude is is narrating and he's like, forget everything you know about this classic story. This is not the Robin Hood you know. It's like, okay, whatever.
That's
Haven't heard that
like
one before. That's not going to make it good. So, one of the
fair
first
enough.
lines after he says that is like, the year is. Well, actually, I don't quite remember what the year is, but it doesn't really
Hmm.
matter for the story. I'm like,
Okay.
that is extremely important. Like, you can't just tell your audience, hey, don't worry about won't worry about the year this movie takes place because that tells me there's going to be a lot of anachronisms that aren't supposed to be there at this time period
Mhm.
and we're just supposed to not care. But then a minute later, maybe 2 minutes later, the movie makes us care by after Robin and Marion have their little meet cute, uh, they fall in love and whatnot, and then Robin is drafted to fight in the Crusades, an actual war that happened in the 1100s.
Right. So we're just
So you're telling me don't care about the time period. You don't remember what the time period was, but then right after your narration, a time
you're
frame is set for around the 1100s. You
gonna
you didn't read ahead two sentences. Like, come on. And then after like he reads the letter, he looks like he's like, oh no. He doesn't say that, but that's he's thinking that. And then it cuts to black. It says 4 years later, not some time
nothing.
passed. Like it didn't just cut to him in the war. Like you just kind of imply some time has passed. No, 4 years later from this time period that wasn't specified in the first place. You can't do that.
I mean, you can because like even if like it still shows the passage of time from where it was, you know?
But in the story, the amount of time he's gone doesn't really matter. All that matters is that some time has passed for when he gets back to Nottingham, things have changed. That's all that matters. It didn't have to be a set 4 years. It's not like if someone left America and then came back 4 years later and a different president was here. Like that's one thing. But he came back and it was just a completely different town because some time had passed. It wasn't necessarily because 4 years had passed.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know the movie told us not to care about what time period this was set in. But since it
But
forced us to care that it's happening during the Crusades, so like 11 to 1200s, it is jarring just how many anachronisms are in this movie. There are so many just things that feel completely out of place in the time period this is supposedly set in. So let me just break down all of them right here. So, first of all, if you are not aware, the Crusades were the English army going after Muslims in Arabic areas, which is funny because one of the main characters who is a Muslim is a Moor, and a Moor were Muslims from Spain. Yet they specifically said they were fighting in Arabia. Why are there Moors in
mm,
Arabia?
someone didn't read their homework.
unless unless the map is like, and we'll get into the weird way this has to work in order for like the world map has to fit in order for everything to work in a second. Unless the map is like, unless Italy and England are right next to each other, like, and like Spain is up here and Arabia is like right below it. Unless
Which is
that's
not
the
how that
case, it
works.
can't happen.
Unless it's a different Earth than we have, that's
I
not how it works.
Oh, but forget everything you know about Arabia. Even
No,
though
no, no, that's different.
forget everything you know about Robin Hood, but you still set in England. You still mention things that happened on. You still mention the Crusades, which is like an actual thing that happened on whatever. So early on in the film, shows Robin in what is clearly a Saving Private Ryan ripoff, like Saving Private Ryan, but you know 1100s tech with like crossbows and swords and bows and arrows and stuff. So, uh, Robin, they call him Rob sometimes. Rob and his,
Really, Rob?
yeah, in the
Okay.
1100s they just call people Rob apparently, and his little platoon, uh, are
Marry
over in
them.
Arabia, like going through a street, and they get pinned down by this one Arab guy who is literally shooting with a crossbow turret.
Yeah, I think I saw something like that. Like, wait a minute.
Like he's literally going down,
Mhm.
like firing like 20, 30 shots at them all at once. And like they even had a scene straight out of Private Ryan where a guy like takes out a piece of glass and like tries to look, oh, where is he, I can't see you. And then the glass like gets hit by a arrow and he like, like okay. So not only does this guy have a crossbow turret, all of these soldiers, they're not wearing the standard crusade outfit where it's like white robes and armor and stuff. Like it's they clearly had like 1100 style like white armor on with like helmets and everything. These guys had like legitimately military grade bulletproof vests.
Wait, what?
They had bulletproof vests on.
Huh?
I
How
know.
does that? How does that? That first of all,
Save your confusion for later. You'll
oh god.
Okay. So like not only do these guys do all the Arabs have turrets and stuff, also Every single guy that you fight, like all of Robin's guys just have bows and arrows, but all the Arabs literally have crossbow machine guns. Like they just point, they like hold, they walk around like this, like literally holding like a machine gun, and they just point and just shoot arrows for days, because that's how things work in the 1100s.
Seriously.
And later in the movie, there is this ridiculously just bad green screen chase scene, uh, like kind of through like the outskirts of town, um, and someone fires an arrow rocket launcher.
Whoa, whoa.
They literally like had a big barrel, put an arrow in it, lit the arrow on fire, shot it at Robin, and it exploded. Literally had an arrow bazooka.
How does that do that? That's not like the
It's,
aerodynamics on that would not
I
work.
know.
It would just.
I know. So not only do they have all this tech that's clearly supposed to be like modern weapons, but they're bows and arrows and stuff. Not only do they have bulletproof vests, at one point the sheriff of Nottingham is like patrolling the streets with his little like with his small army of goons or whatever. All of them legitimately have SWAT shields. They have SWAT riot shields with like the little cut in them and everything.
Wait, really?
Really.
I'd have to see it because, like, yeah, shields are a thing,
And
but
like they're
like
made of, I think
riot
they
shield.
kind of look like they're made of, they don't look like riot shields like all we know them, but they're clearly made of like more rudimentary metal, but they still
Mhm. The same
the
purpose, I
same
guess.
purpose for against people who are shooting bows and arrows. You don't need a riot shield. That doesn't seem necessary.
Well,
Especially when multiple
actually,
times Robin gets shot by an arrow and it hits his vest and it doesn't. He just seemed to walk it off. Just like arrows don't
I
matter, especially with every single villain in this movie, unless like if you're a main character, they have stormtrooper aim. Like
dude,
they shot
plot
literally like
armor.
every single person in Robin's troop perfectly. Once Robin ran out into the line of fire, he every single shot missed. Because of course.
Because it's plot armor.
Okay.
I love it.
Also, Molotov cocktails are apparently a thing in this universe. Multiple
Oh,
times they like had like the bottle with the towel, lit it on fire and threw it. Like, and also like several times they would like spray stuff with gasoline and light it on fire. Like gasoline was not that readily available in this
yeah,
time
that's what I'm
period.
thinking. I was like, how much gasoline do we have?
I- oh, there's more. There is so much more.
There's more? Oh, jeez.
Apparently, there are just black people in England in the 1100s.
Yeah, I don't
That
know
didn't
about that.
that didn't happen. Like early, kind of early-ish in the movie, uh,
Because isn't Jamie Foxx like the
J-
main character?
Jamie Foxx is like Robin's like kind of
Like
first
right
in
hand
command guy.
guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's talking to Jamie Foxx at one point, just out in the open, and we expected someone to mention it because they're fighting they're fighting Muslims who are who are mostly who like apparently appear to be mostly black. So like you would think it would be a big deal that there's a black person in England, but no, they're also just other black people just in the mining facility that they're at. So that's not an issue apparently. No one
One of
recognizes him as a potential enemy or anything. Whatever, it's fine.
like the only times where someone's race would actually matter
Yeah.
in casting,
No, they just
and no
there's
one
other
cared.
black people here. It's fine.
I think nobody cared.
Yep.
Black person plays Jim Gordon. What? How dare they? You're ruining everything. Like, okay.
Also, literally everyone in this movie just wears modern clothing. Just
See,
like
that's annoying. Just
modern
regular.
trench coats. Marion always wears stupid low cut, just modern clothes, even though she's supposed to be like kind of the leader of this like kind of poorer area of town. Yet she has all these like fashion magazine level, like low cut, very revealing dresses. Really, the first time you see her in this movie, she like drops down into Robin's a barn, and Robin like turns her around, and like the camera literally like is centered on her breasts, because of course
It's
it
like,
is.
it's like, oh, what's what though?
There,
Because they have to keep you staying for something. Like they're not
but this is in the first minute of the movie.
because they know what they're getting you into.
So I
Really?
think that's enough of the anachronisms right now.
Oh, jeez.
Let's go into the characters. So Robin Hood, he's basically Batman. Like actually, he's literally Batman. Like
Dead parents and all.
I mean that never brought up, I don't think, but
Like
as far as like
orphans
his
that.
actions go, he's literally Batman. Like during the day,
Okay.
he's like he's a noble, and
Oh, okay.
he's like a rich noble who's like trying to like use his money and suaveness to like get into the sheriff's like main circle of goons and whatnot, and like there's literally a scene where just like in The Dark Knight, which I'll be saying that a lot, it's just like in The Dark Knight when like that one dinner scene with Harvey Dent and Batman, or sorry, Bruce, whatever, and the two
Same
girls.
thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Whereas
remember.
like where they're talking about like Bruce, who do you think the Batman is? Or like I don't know who the Batman is, but if I were the Batman, blah blah blah, like it that type
Yeah,
of thing.
I have some issues or like yeah.
Yeah, like literally, there was a scene just like that. It's like I'm not Robin Hood, but I do think it takes a thief to catch a thief. It's like, we know you're wrong. Like, it's not that
Very
hard
much
to.
saying something Robin Hood would say. I know, but if I was.
And then at night, like obviously at night he's just running around as the Hood because he's
Hmm.
not Robin. He's just the Hood. Um, and there's literally a training sequence straight out of Batman versus Superman in this movie. Like Jamie Foxx's character is training him to use his bow better, training him to get stronger and whatnot, and he is literally like pulling huge objects, like lifting chains, and like it is just that someone, whoever produced this movie, saw Batman versus Superman and was like, "That is good. We need to do that for our training montage," and just put it in this movie. Okay, and there are several times throughout this movie that Robin has a plan that once he starts enacting the plan, but then the plan fails, you realize, wait, how is this plan ever not going to fail? This one example is at one point Robin snuck into the treasury of Nottingham, which like had like huge
Bunch of security.
just mountains of gold. Like he snuck in underneath this trolley that took four huge guys to pull into the place where they're storing it. And he didn't bring any kind of like even like a shovel or like bags or anything to transport it. He can't carry that out himself. I don't know what his plan was to get it out of there. He just escaped with nothing, and like it was fine apparently, but like what was your plan? Were you just gonna get like a handful and run? Like just...
I mean,
And then Jamie Foxx's character, John, which we'll get to in a second, Jamie Foxx's character, he was clearly the getaway guy from that mission. Yet in the very next scene, uh, uh, Robin's in the church and like he's about to leave, and he bumps into Marion, who again we'll get into more in a second, and like and they have a little conversation, and then John calls Robin to go, and literally no one, and the sheriff is there. Literally no one recognizes John as the guy who helped
was
Robin.
right there with Rob.
Yeah,
Like,
just
see, and you can't be. Well, you can't be like, oh, it was the only other black guy, because again, they're doing this whole like, oh, everyone's black.
but they
Deal with
shouldn't be.
it.
I don't. Whatever.
Right, but it's again, it's
So let's get into Jamie Foxx's character, John. So John is a Muslim who, during the Saving Private Ryan scene, Robin gets shot, but then wakes back up, and like they've captured a whole bunch of like Muslims, and they're interrogating them, and one of them is Jamie Foxx's character, and they at some point they like cut off Jamie Foxx's hand.
dang.
They never do anything with this. Like Jamie Foxx ends up like putting this weird like metal disc thing kind of around where the hand should be, but they never like make it a hook or like a sword or even like a metal hand because you clearly have modern technology, so you might as well do that. It's just a metal thing, and they never
They never
do
address it
anything else with it.
again.
Yeah, but
Mm.
uh, but Jamie Foxx, or yeah, he like sneaks back onto the ship back to England with them, um, which implies there's a waterway in between Arabia and England somewhere, which also doesn't really whatever. Especially in the way this has to be set up for Moors to be.
It's like
Whatever.
go, just go with
Just
it.
go
It's
with
fine.
it.
Just go with it. We're too far. We're too far in the rabbit hole to start asking questions now.
So like, so, uh, so Jamie Foxx just kind of appears in Robin's home, and and Robin's like, "What's your name?" "My name is Yaka something, like some Arabic sounding name." And then Robin's
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, Yaka, like yeah, like okay, let me simplify. Like it's a name that you can't possibly comprehend in your language,
Yeah.
but you could just call me John." Okay.
Oh boy.
First of all, I have a feeling that that name isn't actually John in Arabic or whatever. Second of all, that trope is so old and so overdone. Monty Python and the Holy Grail made fun of that in 1975,
You said Monty Python. Oh my god.
43 years ago. These that trope was made fun of in Monty Python.
Monty Python.
Like he could have been named John, like no one would have cared, but you had to do this stupid gag that no one found funny 40 years ago. Like, okay, whatever. um, Also, Jamie Foxx, he is a good actor, but he could never keep an accent. There were several times when like he's supposed to kind of talk with like a Middle Eastern accent type, but then sometimes he'll just speak like Jamie Foxx as if we're not supposed to care. Like literally one sentence he'll say something in an accent, Robin will respond, and then he'll respond in Jamie Foxx.
In Jamie. He's just and then he's just like, okay, forget it. I'm just gonna talk.
I'm tired of talking like that. It's just I look. I know the director of this is not hasn't made many good movies, but like you at least try to like you could have
Like,
multiple takes. You don't if a character breaks character, like tell them to do it again. It's not that hard, especially in one scene in particular. The one scene in particular where this happens is only like 30 seconds long. It wouldn't be that hard to just reshoot that, but whatever.
no, that's effort, and and
Yeah,
also I think it kind of got to the point where they're like, look, man, I'm just gonna do it how I want to do it because
yeah. That's kind of how
it's like the
like
take I'm feeling.
yeah, that's kind of how a lot of these actors are. Like they have so many lines, so many situations they need to act in that like no actor could make this set work. And like
Right.
Taron Egerton is great actor. He was really good in Kingsman and other stuff, but like I don't think he was the right pick for this role. But like even if he were the right pick for the role he was given, it wouldn't have worked because the direction was garbage.
It's like
um,
this whole thing was, it's a dumpster fire. You
yeah.
can't, no one fixes that.
Huh. Moving on to Marion. Marion is the classic strong female character who
Oh, good.
doesn't need no man, who can do stuff on her own, yet is clearly tied down, and her entire character is centered around the main male character. She does nothing in the movie without a male, like either telling her to do it or reacts to it in a negative way, or like she is never proactive in this movie in ways that matter, and like she's only there to literally support the male character. Like it is, they try so hard to make her like a feminist icon or whatever this movie tried to make her, but it just didn't work because it just didn't. But it didn't help the fact that literally all of her dresses had that super low cut, so like you were never focused on what she was doing anyway. Like, and by design. So, uh, so when Robin left for 4 years, he came back and he apparently was deemed dead by the sheriff. For some reason, it was never explained why. I don't think is like he's a noble, so it's not like he's a threat. I don't. It like he never really abused his power before he left, so you think he wouldn't be a threat to the sheriff, but whatever. He was assumed dead 2 years after he left. So somewhere within 2 years after he left, and the remaining 2 years, he was deemed dead, and Marion almost apparently within those 2 years, almost immediately found some other guy and started dating him. Almost
Oh,
immediately.
that was
Okay,
very nice.
good job. Nice of you. So
Whoa.
we have a love trial in this movie, love
Oh,
triangle,
oh,
because all good movies have love triangles. Remember
of
Dark Knight?
course.
That's a good movie. That had a love triangle in it.
Yeah. I really, you did say you were going to come back to that a lot.
And do it at least one more time.
Be prepared.
Like so, after the huge training montage, right at this point, Marion knows that Robin is back. Like at at some point, it was revealed like in a big assembly that like it was name dropped that Robin had come back, and like he's still kept his noble status, so like he could vote in some election thingy. Um, so she knew he was back. He knew that she knew he was back. After the big training montage, like he was fully ready to about to be Robin Hood, and then Marion knocks on the door, and he's like, "Oh, Marion," and then Jamie Foxx stops him, and he's like, "No, you can't talk to her." He's like, "Why not? If you talk to her, it'll jeopardize the mission." But why? Trust me, she doesn't need to know what's happening. You can still talk to her without telling her you're Robin Hood.
Yeah. Like, I guess he was just assuming, oh, you still trust her, so you'll do something stupid. But
But
also,
it
like,
turns out later in the movie that she also hates the sheriff and wants to start a grassroots uprising of the lower class. So it would have been we would have been able to skip an hour of this movie if they had met right then and exchanged notes and be like, okay, let's do this.
but
Skip to the end of
no,
the battle. Like, it would
but
have been so much
no,
easier.
we have to go through the mundane, super, like, painful. Oh boy.
Okay, so
They had to make a certain amount. They had to reach a certain criteria of runtime.
yeah, it worked out for them swimmingly. I'll get to that how that story ended later. So yeah, that's pretty much everything with Marion. On to the Sheriff of Nottingham. So Ben Mendelsohn's in this movie, and when Ben
Hmm.
Mendelsohn's in a movie, at no point has anyone ever asked the question, "Hey, look, Ben Mendelsohn's on screen. I wonder who's gonna be the villain."
I wonder how
Unless
this
you're
one's
Captain
gonna.
Marvel, in which case he was still of an antagonist around half of it.
He was still kind of the villain.
I was like,
Like,
from the moment you see the back of his head, like he's sitting in this very modern looking room, like signing documents, you can just already tell this guy's bad. Like,
yeah,
not even trying to hide it.
like
And
we know.
yeah, and as far as I know, in the main story of Robin Hood, the sheriff of Nottingham is the main antagonist, but he's the lackey of Prince. I cannot remember the prince's name, but like the prince clearly has the power, and he is telling sheriff to take care of Robin Hood for him. In this movie, they seemingly combine those two very important characters just into the sheriff of Nottingham because the sheriff has immense power in this movie. He has apparently he has the power to just threaten to shut down a church without the cardinal or the pope's approval. He has the power to create and enact new tax laws just because he's the sheriff. He after he deemed Robin dead because he can do that too. He claimed Robin's house and then he didn't sell it. He didn't demolish it for parts and like build something else around it. It was just kind of slightly damaged, but like not to a point where it had any value anymore. And it was never really established if someone else did that or if the sheriff did that or if regardless, you would think a noble's house after they're dead would be worth a lot. So you'd think
Yeah.
that would help his in the war effort, but no, that didn't happen. They just left it there to rot, I guess.
It was a symbol for
Rich people, even though he is one and he only surrounds himself with other rich people, whatever. So, um, there is literally a moment in this movie where the sheriff goes, "They are not citizens, they are my subjects."
oh,
You're the sheriff. You're not a count. You're not a duke. You're
you're just
not the
not
king.
royalty. I
You're not
mean,
royalty of any kind.
he
You're
does have
just
all
the.
that power, though.
But where? Why does he have it? Who gave him this much power? Is there not a mayor of Nottingham to give him a check? Is there not like? Is there? Why is the sheriff of
I
Nottingham
know, but
the head guy?
but when people get, I mean, when people get power hungry, especially when the wrong person has a position, and then they get
Yeah,
like super power hungry.
yeah. I guess it just, but it's to a cartoonishly, it's to a cartoonish degree that just didn't make sense in this movie, and like, it wasn't explained in any way how he gained this much power. Like, I guess it happened within the 4 years. Maybe Robin was keeping him in check. I don't know. It's whatever.
It's flawed. We don't know exactly what
Yeah.
happened.
So what I'm about to tell you, I need you to believe that
Oh God,
everything I'm about to say is 100% true. Okay?
this is gonna be one of those like, no, no.
I made I couldn't make what I'm about to say up if I tried.
Oh no.
So, uh, Robin is in his attempt to try to get closer, like in the inner circle of in the closer, like within sheriff's inner circle. He
Mhm.
attends this big ceremony where the cardinal from Rome is gonna be there. And this ceremony, of course, is taking place in a huge gambling arena because those existed in the 1100s with pool tables and the spinny things and like everything you'd expect. But like it looked kind of like it's made of like wood and like it looks
But
kind of
it's
1100y, but it's
obviously a
clearly
casino,
it's
a modern day
clearly a
casino.
casino. Like it's
Like you could very much see a casino nowadays doing that, just kind of as like a style or like a theme.
yeah, exactly. So the cardinal comes and takes the sheriff behind closed doors. And Robin is like, I need to get behind that door. Hey, priest guy, I need your help. So he brings the priest guy, like, barges it into their meeting and, like, makes an example of the priest, although it was part of some plan to, like, get the priest out of the church so that he could be part of the grassroots movement. That was a whole other separate plot that didn't need to be in this movie, but whatever. Um, uh, so then, after he, like, makes an example of the priest guy, the cardinal is like, I trust him. He can stay. You've known this guy for 30 seconds, but sure, whatever. The sheriff The sheriff likes him, so the cardinal says he can stay on this super important meeting. Okay, so I'm going to read this word for word.
Oh no.
Robin, like, the cardinal says, Robin, you can stay. The sheriff goes, okay, so about the hood, I promise. Silence, the cardinal says. Silence. If we are to continue funding the Arabs and defeat the English army so that you and I can take control from the king, the money we owe them must sail in 4 days. When I when we heard that come out of this character's mouth, I have never in my life literally been dumbfounded by anything. I was literally at a loss for words when he said that just block of expository information that clearly both parties here knew everything that he just said. The sheriff and the cardinal had clearly been planning this for years. Yet now that Robin's in the room, the cardinal decided, okay, I'm going to tell Robin and the audience literally the entirety of this huge, insane plot twist over an hour into this movie. This would not hinted at all before now. And let me just break down how much this is. Like any one phrase of this block would be too much for one sequence in the direct manner that it is. But just okay. If we are to continue funding the Arabs and defeat the English army. Okay, so first of all, the apparently all the money that the sheriff is getting from these taxes, he's sending to the Arabs to help defeat the English army, that he's also sending troops to help fight.
That's
Okay,
crazy.
okay, whatever. Like just the first part, if we are to continue funding the Arabs, that enough that is enough to just blow your mind in the direct. It wasn't even, is the money, like the cardinal didn't go like, is the money ready to be sent to the Arabs? That would have been like, you could have kind of had like back and forth with the sheriff and the cardinal, and then Robin being like, what is happening here? No, it's if we are to continue funding the Arabs, this thing you already know we're doing, and the end goal of this you already know is which, to defeat the English army, so that you and I can take control from the king. There is so much wrong with just that part also. Why does the cardinal, a position within the Pope's inner circle, who, if I'm not mistaken, he vowed to give up personal possessions and devote himself only to God. Why would a cardinal want to be the ruler of a country?
Because power, or
I, but also,
I
why
guess.
would just losing just one of the three crusades? You've already had two crusades at this point. This is the third one. Why would losing just one of these crusades make the king lose power? And why would the cardinal and sheriff be the ones to take it from him? and uh, and then like, so all of that is crazy. That enough is was enough for me to literally have my jaw drop and like sit up in my seat and just stare at the TV for a solid minute, just not knowing what to say. He kept going. The money we owe them must sail in 4 days. you're funding the Arabs, which is, I guess, is where they got the turrets from. You're funding the Arabs to fight for you. Why do you owe them any money? It's not the money we're sending must sail in 4 days. It's the money we owe them for their service. I don't.
Because
I still can't comprehend that this block in this way was actually in a movie, let alone this one, which was already trash. Just, I, I just, I still can't believe it. And he said it so like absolutely like
nonchalantly.
nonchalantly, as if this is something that the sheriff didn't know was happening. Like, what, we're taking the king's place? Okay, I guess we go along with it. Like, it just
Like, let's take it from the top. What we're gonna
Robin
do?
Teeter. Okay, let's
Like,
go over the entire plan in immense detail in the most straightforward, coherent way possible. No subtext. No, like, saying it in a sneaky fashion. Just all at once. This is the plot twist of the movie right here. It's like, okay, guy, whatever.
like we're just gonna pretend. Like, really? You're just gonna do this
Yep,
now?
yep. So moving on from that craziness, Will Tillman is the guy that Marion got with immediately after Robin died. Uh, he is a politician, apparently. Literally an hour and 10 minutes into this movie loves to do this. Like, there's at least three different, like, pretty important moments in this movie that just happen an hour and 10 minutes, like over an hour and 10 minutes in. Um,
Of course.
is like, because Marion, just before the Cardinals said that ridiculous statement, Marion had like snuck in some like room full of documents and like stolen this one written in Arabic with the sheriff's signature, but unless you could read Arabic, you wouldn't know what that was.
Right.
So it didn't like really end up mattering because they just told us what it was, and then Marion found out. But like, it's kind of like the Lois Lane subplot in Batman vs Superman.
Mhm.
Like, she's only learning information that we already knew. So like,
Right.
what's the point?
Like
Again,
we
they
don't.
watched that movie like that movie is great. We should do that.
Like, should you?
No.
Yes. Okay, but must you?
And so Marion is like telling William her plan, and he's like, "No, we can't do this." Again, strong female character who's
Mhm.
always being controlled by the men around her. We cannot do this. If you do this, if you cause this uprising, my political career is over. You were a politician. You That was never established.
But clear, it's like since when?
Although, again, bring up the Dark Knight again. Um,
I'm noticing
like
a pattern.
in the finale, uh, um, you see Marion and Robin kissing. Because like Robin finally beats like the main general guy who he fought with in the Crusades, who turned evil. About him in a second. Finally killed him, and then they kissed. And then William like kind of looks and sees that happening, and out of frustration, he falls over into a Molotov cocktail that he dropped,
Oh.
just like Two Face. You literally got
Mhm.
Two Faced. And of
Like
course,
exactly the same
literally,
man.
like a politician who who falls over into oil that's on fire has half his face burned off, and then in the exact and then at the very end of the movie, um it's like after like the mid-credit scene of this movie, because of course the movie has a mid-credit scene. the,
For
the
that
cart
totally coming sequel.
Yep. Totally. The cardinal is like, "So the last sheriff failed me, but I think you will do just nicely." And then William like stands up all dramatically, turns, and like you can, for no reason, but I mean the only reason is to show that, oh, he has a scar It's just like Two-Face on the same side of his face. Like, yeah, just there are other movies to rip from, guys. Or the story that this movie is literally called Robin Hood. You could just pull from that source material, but no, we gotta be like everyone else. Gotta rip off of all three Dark Knight trilogy because literally there's a scene where all the commoners are lined up, all the policemen are lined up, and like
Oh
they
my
run at each other,
gosh.
and like it's all like the training montages very Batman Begins or BVS. Like all three Dark Knight movies are heavily inspired. In this movie and every single villain in this movie, the general guy who like very generic villain with like a twirly mustache. Like it is just he is so stereotypically evil general guy. He's recruited by the sheriff to take down Robin. There are literally several times he's riding on horseback, and then he does this, yeah, and like points, and people run after Robin.
Wait, he's
He's
Wario?
literally Penguin from the '60s Batman. Yeah, Batman, I'm gonna get you. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he does this multiple times. just I just can't take him seriously. And then at the end, like he shoots Robin in the chest, and like Robin falls over, and then the guy like jumps down into the pit they were in. Robin just pulls out the arrow, gets back up like it's nothing. They have a small fist fight. Like the general guy clearly wins, and then Robin just like gets up, kicks him in the face, and then the villain's over. That's it. He just
Casually.
can't get back up after that. It's like you got
Because
one hit,
this dude got stabbed.
and you fine, but you got kicked in the. Oh no, my lip's bleeding. Oh well, it's.
Oh well, I lost this fight. Better luck next time.
And then at the end, like Robin and Marion and everyone else, like all the civilians who survived the fight, like well they killed the sheriff, of course, but
Yeah.
um, uh, they go out into the forest, where Robin Hood's mainly supposed to take place in. They go out
Hmm.
into the forest and is like, from here on out, it's gonna be a fun adventure for all of us. And then cut to black, and then cut back to the new sheriff guy. Because the sheriff of Nottingham has apparently a title that can be handed down to multiple people, apparently or whatever. Because they gotta save
Sure
stuff
one.
for the sequel. Okay.
It's totally. I don't know what you're saying. It's totally happening.
Yep.
I've already got a ticket.
This movie had 100 million budget. Let's throw a number out there. Guess how much it made?
I go 30.
It's 80. Give it a little more credit, but
80.
like it's
Okay,
80.
okay. I
It didn't
didn't
make its
know,
money back, but
man.
like at least
I
the
know you guys are like, oh my gosh, but
they're not making another one of these.
no, they're not. It's
And
so great because it looks the like I legit saw
yeah,
the trailer. I was like, I kind of want to see this.
yeah.
But I do like the character of Robin Hood.
Hmm.
I'm like, I kind of want to see this, and
And
then
the
just
only reason it made even 80 is because that trailer was actually kind of good. But
right,
yeah,
and everyone's just like, oh no,
yeah.
this is terrible.
Can, can we just stop making Robin Hood movies for like 10 years or even 20 years, please? Because we had one 9 years ago. Can we don't need another one just called Robin Hood. Like, can we just chill?
Just stop, please.
Like, clear, like, I know this movie did it terribly, but like, you need some distance from this to like not solely your reputation as a Robin Hood movie. It's like, is this a sequel to that one? Because I don't want to see a sequel to that one. Like, no, it's its own thing. It's whatever.
Like, you say so, but God, like,
So yeah, that like legitimately might be top five worst movies I've ever seen. It's bad.
you're finding some bad ones. I mean, first Battleship, but I tried to warn you about that one, and then
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
man,
It's not as bad as Battleship.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I
You're
didn't
pretty.
hate all the characters are bad in Robin Hood, but I didn't despise every single one of them like I
I,
did
s-
Battleship.
I disliked. I did not
They didn't
personally
ruin
hate.
any of my favorite songs like Battleship did. They didn't have aliens for no reason like Battleship did. They didn't.
They did have aliens for no reason. For a while too.
It was on Battleship. Honestly, might be closer to the source material. Maybe. Possibly. I don't. But, um, yeah, it's not quite as bad as Battleship, but it's up. It's close.
It's close.
Maybe even top three. It is that bad.
Okay, that's gonna be our new thing. What do you do to say we're like, okay, it may be bad, but is it Battleship?
No. I don't know if a movie could be Battleship bad,
I
honestly.
see you say that, but there's so many
I
out there. You
haven't
know, there's
watched every
more.
movie yet. You're right. I haven't.
There's so many, man. Like, I'm sure you'll find it. You'll be
Yeah.
like Noah. I have to tell you, Battleship has been dethroned.
Because like like me, I actually kind of I love watching bad movies. Like I find
You do.
enjoyment in stuff like Batman, Robin, even Catwoman, X Men Origins Wolverine. Like I find enjoyment in these bad
Yeah,
movies. But there are some things that just break beyond that barrier of just so bad. They're
can't
just
salvage it.
I can't stop thinking about it. I'd rather a movie be bad and boring than bad and this bad. Honestly, that is how bad this is. Like bad and boring for most movies, I think is the worst. But like Battleship and Robin Hood are a step below boring, which is something
Like
else.
painful
Yes,
suffering.
like literally jaw-droppingly bad.
Oh gosh.
Okay. So yeah, let's move on to Nerd Clash. Well, since we talked quite a bit about Batman and Robins, let's do a Robin Battle Royale.
Oh boy.
Specifically, Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin, yeah, Damian Wayne.
Yeah.
We'll say Damian Wayne as Batman just to kind of level the playing field. Sure.
Okay. So they're just all going
Like
at you.
all of them at their prime. Who do we think could?
Well,
Because they all have their thing that they're really good at,
right.
and like they could theoretically like kind of counter and balance each other. I just don't know like if one is
Well,
necessarily.
in terms of like actual fighting, Damien's been doing it the longest because like he's been doing this
Yeah,
from birth.
but
But
Jason Todd is the physically the strongest.
this is true.
Nightwing is the most agile and arguably the best, like
Yeah.
just like
Like fighter.
best fighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Tim Drake is the smartest of them all, so he could theoretically find a way to
Outthink
outsmart
them.
them with like gadgets and just
Or
make
just
them
let them
win.
kill each other and then take out
Yeah,
who's number left.
honestly, yeah.
That's what
Like
I would
if I
do.
were Tim Drake, I would do that
I
because I'm pretty sure Tim Drake couldn't beat any one of them on his own, even though like
right.
he was a very solid Robin, and as Red Robin, he's arguably like I mean Jason Todd exists, so he's not the coolest, but like he is still a very solid character in his own right.
Mhm.
But like in an all-out brawl, I'm not sure he could win. But if he did just kind of set back and let them all fight each other, and let's just say, for instance, that Jason Todd ended up actually winning, he would take he would probably not be exactly at full health. I feel like
Right.
if Tim Drake
Tired.
was at like
Fucked up.
90% or higher, I'm pretty sure he could take it.
Yeah.
But I don't know
Yeah.
if
I
I don't
don't
know
think
if Night. I don't think Damien would let him do that. I
that's
don't
what
know
I'm
if
thinking too. And like it's not like you can hide because like we're all
we're all
ninjas.
Batman here.
Like
Like you can't
yeah,
hide from
like we all at some point or another have been Batman.
yeah.
Therefore, you cannot hide. There is
Um,
no hiding.
like I like the main thing that I'm kind of focusing in on here is that Jason Todd is the only one of these who more or less literally has superpowers.
Yeah.
Because apparently he's like
Comic.
strong enough to break Supergirl's grip on him. Because of
Which,
course he
yeah,
is.
which, no. Like,
It shouldn't happen, but it did.
they're like putting like asterisks by characters without superpowers and making them like, like right on. It's
Yeah,
like it's starting to ruin it, It's
yeah.
like it's just like the whole like Speed Force Deathstroke thing. Like he was already
Don't,
broken. You don't need to
don't.
make him more
He already
broken.
has a bit of a healing factor. He already can see faster than other people can because, of course, he.
How does that even work? What,
I
what do
don't
you
know.
mean? What do you mean you see
But
faster?
he's not technically superhuman. But he is though.
Oh,
He can like
that's
lift a
just
car. Oh, but he's not superhuman. Like, okay, whatever.
like you know superhuman. If that's not superhuman, then what? Are you telling me there's other people out here lifting cars? Like, who are these
Yeah.
people?
Like, I
Oh
guess,
god.
is there a chance that Damien, just in his overall, like, trading with the League of Shadows with Deathstroke, Ra's al Ghul, and
Mhm.
Batman, do you think that could kind of level it?
Yeah, because I mean, he's got probably the most like in terms of like starting point. He had the
Hmm.
highest starting point, so I guess that makes his ceiling the highest.
Also, he's
But
literally
all
Batman's son, so like genetics can help with that.
right, but I mean, everyone has crazy and like Dick
Yeah,
Grayson's been doing the most. Like he's been doing this the longest in terms
yeah,
of just all of this, and he probably knows moves that they've been taught,
true,
and they
true.
probably don't know because it's like, oh yeah. So yeah, it's a classic Robin move. I think I made that one up.
Hmm.
Like
Exactly.
oh,
Yeah,
it'd be
I,
crazy.
I just, hmm. I honestly don't know. I think Tim Drake would be the most likely to jump out first, if,
Yeah.
because yeah, like I said, he could try to hide, but one of them's gonna find him. Like,
It's like in Smash. It's like in Smash when you're
yeah.
playing Temple. And you have that one person who just wants to chill in the corner, and everyone's like, "Okay, truce. Let's get rid of him first, and then we can fight."
You go
So like
around,
that's
I'll go this way. We
yeah,
go through.
exactly. I'm like, wait, guys, wait, guys. Game. He gets
Yeah.
thrown out. So yeah, I feel like that would happen first, and then
Mm,
honestly, I think I don't know. I think Dick Grayson might have the best advantage just because the most experience, and also
yeah.
like in some regards, he is considered like even more like was it combat set a better fighter than
Yes.
Batman and certain things, which
Yeah.
is like
Crazy. And just wrong.
yeah.
But
That's what I was thinking. 'Cause I'm like, if they came to blows, Batman's gonna beat that. But
yeah.
like,
My my main thing with Jason Todd is that he's the most physically strong and also
right,
he's the most brutal.
that is also true.
I guess we'll assume they're all fighting to the death. Like they're like that setting is off. So like they all are like literally fighting to the death. Like they are at their peak, both mental and physical ability to kill somebody. So that kind of levels that. Hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of honestly kind of thinking Nightwing maybe.
I think that's my choice.
Yeah. Like Damien
It
is
would be
insane
close.
just because plot armor, but I think Nightwing. Like there's definitely some cred for him being the first one. So
Yeah, he's got all the original moves, got all the cred. He's probably watched
mm,
them and or trained them all at some
yeah.
point. He's got like it's like the older brother complex thing. So
Hmm.
like knows what they suck at, knows what they're
Yeah.
really good at, which they know him too, but I guess it's different.
Yeah, like whereas Jason Todd is like more physically brutal and like it does more explosive stuff.
Mhm.
He would be more agile and probably be able to like dodge it and counterattack faster. Uh Damien, it would be close, but yeah, I think Nightwing would eventually. I think if maybe you could just like stamina wise, I think he might have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Is there anything else from this week you want to bring over talk about?
No, just Disney Plus next
Yeah.
week. It'll be
I'm
happening.
I'm
I'm gonna
excited.
go get. I'm gonna get it. It's gonna be great. I'll update people. I'll be like, get it. It's worth
Next
it.
week we'll have a review of every single movie coming to Disney
On
Plus.
Disney Plus,
We
the
could just
day
like
it comes
shotgun
out.
it and like not even watch them all, but just based on based on the cover page, so like based on the thumbnail of it, just be like, okay, Lassie, what out of 10? Like, just go. Not even watch
Like,
it, just
great, trash,
no.
trash, garbage, garbage. I'd watch that. Yes, yes. Or God tier. We've never even seen that. I just know.
Yeah, that would actually be kind of fun. Maybe we can maybe do that. We'll see. Whatever. Oh, there are going to be over 400 of these things, so it might
That might take a hot minute.
even going at that speed might take an hour, maybe longer.
Really. It's gonna be so great. I'm so excited.
How long is 400 seconds?
It's like 5 minutes and 50 seconds. No, 5 minutes and 100 seconds. So like
Yep. No, 400 divided by 60. Did I do that right?
6 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, if we literally did one a second, we could do one. We could do it pretty
But
easy.
it'd be incredibly inaccurate. It's like, have you even seen these? No,
Nope.
I don't even know what this is.
It's Don Knotts in it. I kind of like Don Knotts. 8 out of 10. Okay.
It'll take like 6 minutes. Go for it.
Yeah. That we will see you all next time.
Take care, guys.